What's up, dudes? Max here, finally with another chance to talk about some of the ongoings with Mortal Kombat X over the past week. And the big one that's popped up that also came with the Tanya update was an adjustment and balance changes to a large majority of the cast. This isn't absolutely every single character, but these are some pretty drastic changes to some that I think is worth talking about. First and foremost, a character that you see quite a bit in tournament, mostly in the hands of one of the best Mortal Kombat players, which is Sonic Fox, was Erron Black. And you want to talk about changing a move. Erron Black had this tackle move where he shot you multiple times in the face and essentially gave him the ability to follow up with a combo right after. Well, actually not anymore, because now it used to be plus 20, which means he had a huge amount of time afterwards frame-wise to follow up for a combo, and now it's minus 2, meaning that he cannot advance for a combo. Essentially, tackle is the most damaging ender that Erron Black is going to have now, and you will not have the ability to kind of just throw that thing out willy-nilly. You kind of need to sacrifice damage at the end of your combos, maybe throw out caltrops, and then go for something else. Erron Black is still almost entirely the same character, you just have to end your combos a little bit differently. Another big change was to Kotal Kahn, who had a ton of advancements in Blood God and Sun God. Damage increases almost across the board, as well as increased hit advantage. Kotal Kahn was somewhat of a difficult character to use now, but the few that I've fought online, he is a lot better. Raiden saw also a very minor change to many, but also it's technically a huge change to some, where his forward 1 is now a high. Raiden had really good forward 1-2 pressure where he can kind of poke you multiple times, and that is now gone. Since forward 1 is a high, it's not a mid, meaning that you can't just easily throw it out and try to advance. If somebody is blocking, it'll actually whiff above their head, especially on crouching opponents is what I mean. Takeda saw some changes, but in my opinion, they are nice changes, but Takeda's still a fairly challenging character to use. His standing 1 is now 9 frames instead of 11, which means his regular jab is a couple frames faster, which is nice. You don't really use that one too much because it is a high, but his down 1 went to 8 frames instead of 10, which means that you have a proper low poke that gives you the ability to kind of like stop people from pressuring you instead of his down 2. Lasher, which I find very funny, still got some significant upgrades in terms of frame advantage. Some of the special moves in Lasher are a lot different, but man, I still think Takeda Lasher is really bad and not that good of a variation in comparison to Ronin and Shirai Ryu. Melina also saw some pretty dramatic adjustments. Essentially, her startup frames have been heavily adjusted. She's a little bit faster with a lot of moves now, which is good because there's quite a few Melina players. The biggest one out of all of these, and which I'm kind of excited about because this leads me a chance to talk with you guys about what our next week of should be, is Kenshi. Now, I've already learned Kenshi Possessed variation quite a bit, and I've played him at least enough to know what the heck is going on. However, there was some big issues with Kenshi because a lot of his stuff was dramatically unsafe, and for being a zoning character, which he technically is, it was pretty hard to do any effective zoning in a game like MKX where people can just run in and get damage and go for 50-50s and all this crazy stuff. But now, almost every single one of his special moves, the recovery from them has been dramatically taken down, which means that not only are you more safe when somebody blocks one of your specials, you can throw them out quicker and keep them out faster and longer. It seems kind of crazy, but I don't think this makes Kenshi immediately amazing. There is one thing that I really do like, that a couple of his moves in one of the different feud variations actually lets him combo a little bit easier, and within Possessed now, almost all the things he had in Possessed, outside of a couple recovery moves, is faster, and I think Possessed is one of the most fun variations. He is really interesting now. I don't think Kenjutsu is very good at all, but what you can get in Possessed and Balanced seems pretty freaking awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to it. That is about it for some of the changes. There is a few more, like Jackie Briggs actually landing a lot more consistent combos on some of the cast, because stuff was just whiffing all the time. And there was some other interesting kind of semi-nerfs to characters like Devora and things like that. However, what do you guys think about the balance changes? Has it severely affected your character in any way whatsoever? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you'd like the next week of to be focused around Erron Black for MKX or Kenshi. Thank you dudes very much for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.
You show little promise.
Kenshi.